Hey everyone, it is Kai, and today we have another video sent in by our friend Ryan Kai from Malaysia. This time featuring YEE on the left playing Nociel versus NGAI on the right playing Valkerion or Uranus, Astral Poets, whatever you like to call that kind of Genesis. But these are basically two clans from the new set that got support. Both clans getting two forms of support in a way. Nociel, well, Angel Feather getting Nociel and Gavrail, and Gavrail is the one that people have been hyping more about. While with Genesis, we did get Himiko Regalia as well. That's a build that has been going around, and less people are on both drains on the Genesis side, so we don't know exactly which one is exactly better. But it's good to see them both in action here. Now, we get to see the Angel Feather player, Nociel, going first, which is very, very important in this matchup when you play a Force versus anything non-Force matchup. Going Force just negates the 10k grade 2 line that Force clans get, able to put on pressure, but especially so against Astral Poets, because Astral Poets, they run weird ratios, weird grade ratios. Like usually you have like high grade 1 and 2 and low grade 3. With Astral Poets, the other way around. So they have less grade 1s and 2s. That means less guards overall. They're basically wholly reliant on your triggering in damage zone or in your hand to guard with, or otherwise you just don't have much to work with. So being able to pressure against that early is very, very important, especially with Nociel's big explosive grade 3 turns. Now, Genesis side, we see Beckrux, which is one of the new pseudo Riot Chain cards that they got for Astral Poets. This, when it comes into play on the Vanguard circuit, you can Soul Blast 1 reveal pretty much an Astral Poet or Valkerion in your hand to just search your deck for the grade 2, which is Arcturus. And those are very important cards to boost your Origin Uranus to be able to reach that 5 grade count, because Arcturus does get the +2 grade when it's in Soul. Now, if you don't get it though, don't worry, Beckrux can go to Soul just by guarding with it, but overall, it's good to ride. It's good to ride, and triggering that crit basically put 2 Love Machine Guns into the damage zone for Nick, but that's fine. He had the 3rd Love Machine Gun, wrote it, and was able to get it out. Now the Jafakil got another thing out too, but Nakir came in, but he's got a Nakir in his hand. It's going to work fine, able to search another grade 3 from the deck, compress, being able to make it hit like +5k, and he really should be pushing this turn. And 2 columns is getting there. It's getting there. Just gotta put on pressure early against Uranus, just so you either demolish his hand or you make them lose a turn, right? So if you screw around and don't put on pressure for Uranus, they're just gonna sit there, feel good. Bashu gets a grade 3, Bashu with like huge columns, and then if they still have enough life, they can probably survive like 1 or 2 turns while still putting on that big bashing pressure. Then you basically just run out of null guards and count guards. So pushing early, you lower the clock for your opponent and basically try and force a quicker game, and that's exactly what you want. We can see that they have some really nice power counters, which makes life easier. Jafakil showing the +3 and Akira getting the +5, and this Hydra's Angel going to work. It's a +10k pretty much. It gets 5k for each card in the damage zone. It's a 7k base though, but it stays +10k. It stays, like, the effect is caught, so it just stays fat during your opponent's turn as well. And makes it really hard for your opponent to really get rid of it. And here, we're going to be forcing either some cards out of Gary's hand, and no trigger there, so he's basically eating 2 damage, and that's good. That's a great grade 2 turn for Nick, pushing 2 damage. That means his next turn could be even more explosive. Now, Gary rides the Arcturus, the Riot Chain, as expected, and Arcturus has a really neat skill, right? When you have the Beckrux in the Soul, you can draw a card from it basically. The exact effect is that when it comes into play, you can Counterblast 1 and just reveal an Astral Port or a Valkerion from your hand, and again Imaginary Gift Force, which basically gets you closer to what you need, and then put on the Vanguard and then just draw a card to give Beckrux in your Soul. And he plays the Decay and misses, which is terrible. Absolutely terrible. You run so many grade 3s in your deck just to be able to not miss with Decay, and when you get to search 2 grade 3s from Decay, you get another force marker. It just makes your life easier, you know? You don't have to spend any resources to get additional force markers. But not hitting it just sucks. Basically just a -1 in your hand, because you have to put something into Soul. So you have to put one of his Asteros Dragons into Soul. But yeah, nothing going well for Gary. And now Nick is going to go into his grade 3 turn. He rides his Love Sniper Nociel, gets a Protect Marker, and Nociel is one of those decks that can generate 2 Protect Markers a turn. So that's going to be really, really crap for Gary, because, you know, a deck that can just keep on generating Force Markers is not something you want to face against as Astral Poets. So it looks like, now, if I'm Nick, we need to get 3 Nociels into the damage zone somehow. You can use Soul, like Holy Seraph when it comes into play, can put something from the deck into the damage zone temporarily, but that requires Soul, and as we know, Soul is very big limiting factor in Nociel, alright? You basically have to really be careful of your souls, like Spike Brothers. But once you run out of soul, it means you really can't do anything, and we can only see that he's only got, what, 1 soul left in the deck after he uses the Love Machine Gun Nociel. He grabs, so here he grabs an Akir, and he can easily search a Happy Bell, and that basically finishes the condition, right? So we can go to Holy Seraph. Holy Seraph needs 3 to be able to stand 1. If you have 5 Nociels in damage, then you can stand 2. But here, when your opponent's at 2, just even getting an extra attack is going to be really, really damaging. He's getting 5k from everything in the Happy Bell, so that's good too. So that Hygienist Angel is going to be massive. Right now, it's like, what, 27? And the other columns, Akir is going to get a boost. He can, I think he searched an Akir just then, so he can basically play another Akir down to compress his deck. And that will basically... Oh, he's playing another Jafakil for this turn. What is he going to get back? Is he going to get another... It's a grade 3 or 2, right? So he grabs... Looks like he's going to grab the 2. And then top card comes down. Wow, that is huge, alright? When you see that happen, you just feel happy, right? Things are going your way. But that is actually huge, because now everything is hitting even more massive against Gary, who's still at grade 2. He's 10k defensive, but he is Astral Poets. He doesn't really have good guards in his hand. He really has to start getting multiple damage triggers to be able to either guard things effectively or be able to even survive. Right? He could just die before he reaches grade 3. Like that Hygienist Angel, luckily it doesn't have a boost at the moment, but ooh, that's a 32k column. Vanguard gonna swing for like 20-35. It hits 22 by itself. How do you effectively guard this? Is there any... I mean, if Nick triggers like a crit here, it's basically GG, I think. It's basically GG. Because just everything is hitting massive, and one of those cards are going to be able to restand. Forces a null from Gary's hand. That is not something you want to see this early on in the game. Rewrite is likely going to happen here. And, yeah, everything's just going well for the Nociel play. Discards a Happy Bell. Now, interesting, when you discard a Happy Bell, normally you don't want to do that because you're like, how do you get the Happy Bell back into your damage zone? But we saw that Nick plays Scaling Angel in the deck, which does exactly what you need it to do. We just put something from the drop zone into the damage zone. And that is where the Happy Bell will go to probably next turn. Yeah, so this 32k Hygienist Angel bashing in. Now it's going to stand from the Holy Seraph. And this Holy Seraph also hitting like a truck, but only 1 drive. No trigger comes out. And now Gary has to make the hard decisions here. Which one is he going to guard, or can he guard this at all? Can he actually guard this at all? The Jafakil column is 17 plus 18, so it's 35. That's actually hitting numbers, which is crazy. So this is 32, swing in again, takes it. No trigger. This is really bad. Look at his damage zone. He basically needed every single card from them. I think it's 2 Origin Uranus there, and then 1 Eos Anesis. And that Eos Anesis, he's forced to discard an Eos Anesis and discard an Origin Deity. That is... The Eos Anesis is very important because it creates a force marker without requiring soul and grabs the Valkerion and just does everything you want it to do. But in this situation, he was forced to null with it. And if we think about Gary's soul, it's crap. It's terrible. It's an Mysterious Dragon, and then 2 Ride Chain cards. So he's reaching the 5 grade that he needs to Soul Blast for Origin Deity, but he needs an Eos in his hand to be able to gain another Force Mark to be able to start doing it all. Wow. Yeah, no, that gleaming erase is not going to work because he needs Soul Blast 2, and he doesn't have any way to Soul Blast 5 from his soul. So that last big attack from Nociel really just destroyed Gary's hand. Just like if he drew that decay, things might be different because he creates another soul to be able to Soul Blast 2 and create another force marker. But the EOS Anis just losing that is so big. He maybe should have just taken the 6 damage, hope for the heal to be able to even have a chance of playing this game. But even if he does that right, Nociel had 2 protect markers in his hand, so he'd need to get something like a bunch of crits, lots and lots of crits from those last drive checks, and maybe it would have happened because hey, there's no triggers in the damage zone for Gary, and pretty much nothing in his hand. So yeah, that's basically GG. That one turn from Nick just basically won him the game. And he rewrote another Nociel this turn, so he can get another restand off. And that Scaling Angel comes down. And he's able to get the Happy Bell that he discarded last turn. So he goes 3 Happy Bells in the damage zone. And it's plus 15k to the whole front row. That Hydrant Angel is just fat as fat. That's like a 47k Hydrant Angel. There's no way Nick is going to guard this. And even if he heals like maybe 3 times, he's probably still dead. So yeah, I mean, maybe this is a bit premature, but Nociel really showing off the goods if you don't want to play Gavrail. If Gavrail's not your play, like the thing is, Gavrail and Nociel both big different playstyles. Gavrail, big lame way of playing, and not in a bad way, just slow, 3 attacks, get big crits and win. Nociel multi-attacks, and there we have it. Triggers the crit, and there's 2 crits on Gary's side, and that is GG's. So yeah, again, Nociel, Gavrail, 2 big different playstyles. If you don't like the Gavrail playstyle, give Nociel a try. And Nociel, no VRs required, should be pretty cheap to build. And yeah, that is it. It was good showing, and nice to see some power markers. Good job, Hobby Base, and the boys in Malaysia. So hope you guys liked that video. Although it was kind of one-sided in a way, it's good to kind of see what each deck can do, especially on the Nociel side. And yeah, that's it for me. Hope you guys liked it. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.